Hey guys. Welcome to season 6. I'm so happy to be here. I'm super glad to have you guys on the podcast. I'm excited. And officially, Happy New Year. Welcome to the year 2025. I'm going to do an official New Year podcast. Yeah, I will. And that should be up sometime soon as well. I'm also going to hand over the podcast to a PR manager so that I can focus solely on creating and allow someone else to handle the technical and the marketing part of it. Hopefully that would see the podcast growing and becoming a whole lot more better and more better than I can push it or make it to be. So there's that. Welcome to the Hangout with Charles podcast. It's the place for Christ, community, fellowship, and gist. And it's your favorite host, Helen Charles, if I do say so myself. And welcome. Get your earplugs, get your headphones, and find a very nice corner and settle in, and let's dive in. Today's episode is titled, I Don't Know How to Love in Small Doses. Yeah. So this line has stuck in my head for a while now. It's almost like a song stuck on repeat. I don't know how to love in small doses. I've come to realize that love for me is all or nothing. It's really an all or nothing experience. I know I don't mean an obsessive kind of love. I mean the genuine kind. The kind that says, if I care about you, then I'm all in. And this isn't just about romantic relationships. It's about everyone, family, friends, people I hold close. So loving in small doses, that's not me. That's not my style. And what that looks like is I'm calling, I'm texting, I'm checking in, I'm providing a listening ear. I'm asking questions because I genuinely want to know what's happening in your life. I want to be there for you, showing up in ways I think I need to show up for you. To me, that's love. It's being consistent. It's being all in. But here's the thing. I'm learning that sometimes that's not what people want. And I get it now, but I sort of get it. Because some people say that love and think, this is overwhelming, or even this is too much. And the hardest part, sometimes the love you pour out isn't returned in the way you hoped. And that hurts in a way that is hard to put into words. And when that happens, my brain flips to the opposite extreme, detachment. So if loving you feels like too much to you, or when it feels like I'm overdoing things, or when it feels like, this girl, you want to shout so much, then my only defense is to pull away entirely. It's as if my heart says, if I can't love you the way I want, then I won't love you at all. And I know that sounds very rigid, even to my own ears. But for me, there's no middle ground. There really is none. It's either loving someone fiercely or stepping all the way back. I think a part of me believes that if I love someone this way, they will naturally love me back in the same way. And maybe that's the lesson that I need to learn, to find a balance. To love people in a way that meets them where they are instead of where I think they should be. But here's the tricky part though. Loving people the way they want to be loved often feels like it conflicts with how I want to love. What I'm learning slowly but surely is that most times it's not about me. Heck, a lot of the time, or all the time, It's not about me. It's not about what I want or how I express love. It's about the other person, how they want to be loved, how they need to be cared for, and what makes them feel seen. But because I'm human, there's always that tiny nagging question. What about me? What about the way I love? What about my need to show care in a way that feels natural to me? What about the ways I want to be loved in return? So where does that leave me? Sitting with myself, asking the hard questions, reevaluating my stance on certain things, and to be honest, I don't have all the answers. So I think something that we all need to do is to dig deep and ask ourselves, why do I love the way I do? Why do I react the way I do when my love isn't reciprocated? How do I balance the intensity of my love with the reality of other people's boundaries? And how do I navigate all the warring emotions? I'm learning though that in new relationships, whether they're friendships, family dynamics, or something else entirely, it helps to set the expectation right from the start. To ask the questions that matter even if they feel a bit vulnerable. I don't like to be vulnerable, but I'll be the first to say it saves you future problems. So ask, how do you want me to communicate with you? Do you need constant communication or do you prefer space? What does care look like for you? These questions are simple, but they're not always easy to ask. Or maybe sometimes we don't even want to hear the answers because it means us stepping out of ourselves to be what the other person needs. And most times they require a balance between intuition and actively figuring out what works for both persons. And truthfully, that process takes time. What I've noticed is that after a while, through trial, error, and a lot of grace, you begin to see what feels natural for the other person and what feels sustainable for you. But here's the catch. It requires patience, a whole lot of patience. And for someone like me who loves deeply, that patience can feel like restraint. Like holding back when all I want to do is dive in. Then there are those other times, the times when it just clicks, when you naturally know what someone needs without them having to say a word. When loving them feels effortless, like second nature. There are people, friends, families, even colleagues where the connection is so seamless that communication doesn't feel like work. With some family members and friends, you might not talk for weeks or even months, but the moment you reconnect, it's as if no time has passed. The distance melts away and you pick up right off where you left. And it's so beautiful to have that kind of ease in a relationship. But even those connections, the ones that feel like home, they need tending. It's easy to assume that because the relationships flow so naturally, it will always stay that way. But the truth is, even the strongest bonds can crack if we don't pay attention. Those tiny cracks, the ones that start off as misunderstanding, missed calls, or unspoken feelings, can quietly grow into bigger cracks if we're not careful. So it's important to cherish these effortless relationships, but also to put in the work they deserve. To check in even when it feels like there's no need. To ask, how are you really? To notice the small shifts before they become big gaps. Still, I'm learning. I think that's the beauty, is that we must constantly learn. We must constantly evolve. We must constantly hold space to take in new ideas. And I'm learning that love, real love, doesn't just ask what I want. It asks what the other person needs. And in that asking, that learning, we start to create something that works for both of us. Something that feels like love, but also like balance. And maybe that's the biggest lesson I've had to learn, or I'm supposed to learn. That love isn't one size fits all. So I hope that we all learn to treasure the relationships in our lives, to nurture them, to meet people where they are, to love people in the way they need to be loved and not what feels right to us. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for sitting with my thoughts, my feelings, and my wrestling with what it means to love fully and well. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And until I come your way next time, it's your favorite person. And I hope you know that I got you. But Abba loves you the most. He loves you so much. It is an intentional, all-encompassing kind of love. All right. Take care of yourself, and I will see you when I see you. Don't forget to tell someone that this is the place to be. Bye.